What's going on, people? NGS back at it with another video, and today, the day has finally come, ladies and gentlemen. It just seemed like a few months back we were discussing that Microsoft had intent to acquire Bethesda, and here we are a few months later, Microsoft has officially acquired Bethesda. Now, unfortunately, there really isn't too much to discuss from this announcement considering, well, they just made the announcement, but there are a couple of things that I do want to highlight in this Xbox Wire article, in addition to discussing a couple of things related to the exclusivity of all of these Bethesda games. So what y'all are checking out right now is an official article from Xbox.com written by Phil Spencer talking about the Bethesda acquisition. Now, for the most part, this article is pretty much standard PR fluff, talking about how they have this tremendous partnership that's been going on for 20 years, so it felt like a natural progression, yada 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 yada. But there are a couple of things of interest worth highlighting. Now, first things first, in regards to this acquisition, there were a lot of people wondering, hey, we're in a new generation of game consoles, Xbox is really pushing Game Pass. What are the likely odds that we are going to see more Bethesda games show up in Game Pass? And when are we going to see them? Well, Phil Spencer clarified, and we are actually going to be seeing a couple of Bethesda games rolling into Game Pass as early as this week. Now, they haven't clarified on which game is coming to the platform, how many games are coming to the platform, and if they are going to be divvying this out in waves like they did with the Xbox backwards compatibility program. But we are going to be getting something later this week, which is very exciting to see. Maybe this could coincide with a potential boost mode wave. Maybe we could see a couple of those games boosted in terms of performance, which would be pretty awesome. But again, nothing is concrete as of now. We'll just have to see what happens. But the real meat and potatoes of this article has to do with the exclusivity, or as it's been known for the past couple of months, the lack of an answer from Xbox in regards to exclusivity. Now, for obvious reasons, and a lot of people forget this, in the very early days when we were first talking about Microsoft's intent to acquire Bethesda, for obvious reasons, the companies couldn't talk about whether or not these games would be exclusive to the ecosystem. Why? Because the deal had not gone through yet, and the last thing a company wants is to say one thing and then have to backtrack a couple of months later. But then again, this is the gaming industry, and they're known for flip-flopping. And many of us were hoping with this acquisition, we might get a bombshell tweet saying, hey, Xbox plus Bethesda, everything is exclusive. And unfortunately, we just got, more of the same. Referencing the article, this is the next step in building an industry-leading first-party studio team, a commitment we have to our Xbox community. With the addition of the Bethesda creative teams, gamers should know that Xbox consoles, PC, and Game Pass will be the best place to experience new Bethesda games, including some new titles in the future that will be exclusive to Xbox and PC players. Okay, let's break down what this actually means. And what this means is, I still don't know.
I'm so confused.
These are confusing times.
Xbox, why do you do this to me? Hey, chill out, YouTube ad police. It's mineral water, calm down. In a really awesome Yakuza glass, I must say. Yeah, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this is about what I expected. So a couple of months back, when I made my original video talking about the intent to acquire Bethesda, I was kind of all over the place with my way of thinking because I was trying to cover all bases. I was saying that I would love to see the games be exclusive, but at the same time, I know how business works, so there is a potential possibility that some of these games could be exclusive while others could be multiplat. Of course, none of us knew the extent of that. For the longest time, a lot of people were running with the notion that anything that is currently active, so any ongoing games such as the Elder Scrolls Online, similar to Minecraft, those games would remain multiplat. And honestly, it makes a lot of sense given those games, the whole point of those games is trying to reach as many players as feasibly possible. And if it's something like an MMO, why would you gatekeep it to just one platform? The only time you would ever do that is if the other platforms that are available to port the game to really aren't the best fit for it. So for something like Elder Scrolls Online, that being a multiplat makes a lot of sense. For anything that they would have coming out in the future, maybe if they created a multiplayer game that's free to play, something like that could potentially be multiplat. But for a lot of people out there who don't play things like Elder Scrolls Online or Fallout 76, what about the people who play Bethesda single player experiences? I'm talking about Elder Scrolls, I'm talking about the upcoming Starfield, I'm talking about that new Indiana Jones game that's coming out. Are those games going to be exclusive? And as of right now, we still don't have an answer, ladies and gentlemen. So all we can do is theorize and speculate what's going to happen. So if I wanted to put on my little tinfoil hat and talk about what would potentially happen, I think that even Xbox, the people over there at Microsoft, they don't know what to do with this acquisition. Because if it's something like a studio, like let's just take Ninja Theory, for example. Ninja Theory, the scale and the output of games that they put out, you could make that exclusive to an ecosystem, because at this point, it's not one platform anymore. You could make those games exclusive and get away with it. But when you're talking about a publisher like Bethesda, a publisher that you spent close to $10 billion on, a publisher that has been running and operating independently for the longest time, when you acquire them, everything that you do, every single move that you make has to be strategic. And when you have just the amount of volume of games that they put out from so many different studios around the world, honest to God, I think things are going to be on a case-by-case basis. Because if all of those upcoming games were actually going to be exclusive, you know, there's a lot of red tape that is going around. Like, let's just take, for example, Deathloop, Tokyo Ghostwire. Those games have pre-existing deals with PlayStation. So they're going to be launching on PlayStation and have a year exclusivity attached to them, right? But for all the other games that we don't know, like when they're going to release, but we know they exist, such as Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield, it's kind of up in the air. Now, there are some people out there who are running with the idea that maybe this is just to condition people into expecting exclusivity in the future by taking things on a case-by-case basis. Maybe they're trying to test the waters to see if they can release some of these games exclusive and others multi-plat. And to be honest, I don't know. Maybe they're waiting to see the sales of the first big exclusive Bethesda game on the Xbox ecosystem versus that game being on PlayStation and potentially Nintendo Switch. Maybe that's what they're going to do. I have no idea. I don't work for Xbox. I don't sit in the boardroom. I'm not a shareholder. But I will say, shareholders, they have a lot more power than people think. And if I was a shareholder who was watching things in the gaming industry very carefully, and I saw that PlayStation was leading the charge, and Microsoft spent $10 billion to acquire a company, and they're making those games exclusive and missing out on a potentially 100 million plus user base, I would kind of be scratching my head as to why. Are you doing this for brownie points? Are you doing this to grow the ecosystem? Like, yeah, we're all for growing ecosystems, but at the end of the day, if that shit ain't making money, that shit ain't making money. And Microsoft has already admitted that Game Pass is more of a long-term approach, their business style. Like, this is brand new, especially when it comes to gaming. So for them, yeah, it might be a money loser in the beginning, but eventually with all the subscribers and the growth, reoccurring revenue, yada, 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 maybe this could potentially work out, because Game Pass, even though they have a lot of content that's available for you to play, there's really not a lot of stuff that we know is in the immediate future. So sure, you have all of these studios that exist. You have the 23 studios that are going to be pumping out all these crazy games. And while that's fantastic, and I wish all the developers the best working on those games in such turbulent times, me as the gamer right now, I don't really care that Microsoft has acquired all of these studios, because that's not going to change anything about the way I'm playing games right now. You get what I'm saying? So while I'm excited that all this stuff is happening, and yeah, we can sit here and argue until the cows come home on whether or not these games are going to be exclusive, it's not really affecting me in the current day. So I honestly don't have that much energy for it to really get excited about, yeah, you know, Xbox, Bethesda, these games are coming, because we don't know. We don't even know if those games are actually going to be good. Because let's be honest. Let's be 100% honest. Xbox does have a quality control problem when it comes to their games. Now, I'm not sitting here and saying that all their games need to be like Sony or they need to be like Nintendo's. But when you look at the quality of Xbox's games throughout the entire last generation, but that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens in the future with Bethesda, whether or not some of these games will be exclusive, whether or not some of these games will be multi-plat. If I'm being 110% honest, you guys, I don't care. Yet here I am making a YouTube video about it.
Hey, you know who lives in this house? A great big phony!
Because at the end of the day, I look forward to playing quality games, and if you don't have anything quality for me right now in the current present day, then I'm not really going to express excitement over this stuff. Now, if you were to tell me that they show off some Starfield gameplay, that shit was looking solid, and it's launching this year exclusive to Xbox. Oh shit, where the fuck are my tap shoes? I gotta get to tap dancing. But until that fateful day, ladies and gentlemen, it's just business as usual. So post your comments down below on what you guys think about this Bethesda acquisition. What are the odds that all these games are going to be exclusive? What are the odds that some of these games are going to be business as usual, so it's going to be multiplayer across the board? And what are the odds that some of them would be cherry picked, like this game is going to go to PlayStation, this game's going to be exclusive to Xbox? Comment down below and let me know. And from me to you for now, my name is NGS signing out, and like always, I will catch you guys later. Peace. Oh, good old mineral water.
When I come in the arena.